From apex predators going at each other to big cats duking it out over who is truly the king of the jungle. Here are 10 unexpected animal confrontations you don't want to get in the middle of. 10. Bull shark versus crocodile. Swimmers in the north of far western Australia got a first-hand opportunity to witness a bull shark and crocodile crossing paths late last year in the Ord River. Speaking with NCA Newswire, witness Chelsea Wood said that people were splashing and fishing in the water, seemingly oblivious to the encounter happening just meters away. She estimated that the saltwater croc was about 16 feet. Drone footage that Wood and her partner Bryce Connell uploaded to YouTube channel Caravan Adventure Oz shows that the massive reptile dwarfed the bull shark. In the video, the crocodile sits motionless as the shark approaches, coming within feet of its adversary. Suddenly, the shark wisely decides against escalating things into a fight and swims away. Wood told the Daily Mail she was glad the footage might raise some awareness about what's lurking in the local waters, where residents were nonchalantly entering the river, seemingly without second thought. When you're down under, sometimes that is not the best plan. 9. Tiger versus bear. Late last year, a Bengal tiger went head-to-head with a sloth bear in the Tadoba Andari Tiger Reserve in Maharashtra, India. Tour leader and photographer Arpit Parekh, who works at the national park, captured shocking footage of the encounter, which shows the tiger fearlessly attacking the 1.8-meter-tall, 136-kilo bear, pinning him to the ground and sinking its teeth into him. The distressed, bleeding bear can be heard crying out, but he fought back hard enough to tire out the 300-kilo tiger, who continued to stalk the bear as he walked away. It wasn't long before the injured bear turned around and charged at the tiger, swiping his paw and baring his teeth, and at some point biting the big cat's leg. Finally, the tiger fled into the nearby water. The bear understandably decided to call it quits shortly thereafter and went along his way. The altercation lasted roughly a half hour, according to Parekh, who told Mail Online that the group who witnessed the fight thought that the bear was going to die until the tiger became exhausted and let go. Native to India, sloth bears are among nature's most fearsome predators. In the last 20 years, they've killed hundreds of people and have injured thousands, causing more human deaths per capita than any other bear species. Experts believe that the sloth bear's highly aggressive demeanor stems from living in close proximity to large human populations. 8. Jaguar versus Anaconda. Late last year, photos of a jaguar battling a yellow anaconda in the western Brazilian state of Mato Grosso went viral. Captured by wildlife photographer Chris Brunskill in South America's Pantanal region. The shocking images show the giant snake caught between the jaguar's powerful jaws at the edge of the Cuiabá River. The photos raised several intriguing questions, including how common it is for the two species to fight and which is more likely to win. Writing for Interesting Things, Edmund Torr pointed out that most big cats, including jaguars, are opportunistic hunters who pursue their next meal by searching in places where they're likely to find creatures that are smaller than them. Jaguars are ambush predators who silently stalk their target before pouncing. These water-loving cats are known to eat numerous aquatic animals, including fish, frogs, sea turtles, and even caimans. They kill reptiles mainly by biting them in the head, and this is likely the approach taken by the jaguar featured in Brunskill's photos, according to Torr. During the 2-minute-long fight, the anaconda reportedly bared its fangs to the jaguar several times, even striking its nose at one point. But it wasn't enough for this non-venomous reptile to come out on the winning end of things, or even to slow the jaguar down. In fact, jaguars are not known to ever fall prey to yellow anacondas, despite the latter being one of the world's biggest snakes, typically reaching about 4.6 meters long and weighing as much as 30 kilos, although they can grow much larger. Another video that surfaced earlier this year shows a black jaguar and a green anaconda entangled in a fierce battle, with each trying to pull the other onto its home turf. The fight appeared to end with the jaguar dragging the massive snake out of the water and onto dry land. I guess it's a tough life out there when you're an anaconda. 7. Snake versus crocodile. As one of nature's most aggressive predators, crocodiles have very few animals to fear. But one of these ferocious reptiles met its match in northern Queensland, Australia in 2014 when it crossed paths with a 3-meter-long python. Local author Tiffany Corliss was among the spectators who watched as the python wrapped itself around the crocodile, suffocating it to death over a long, drawn-out struggle. Speaking with the BBC, callers said that the fight began in the water, with the crocodile struggling to keep its head from being submerged. She also described the huge snake rolling the crocodile around to get a better grip, holding the animal's legs tightly to its body. The fight lasted a staggering 5 hours, witness Alice Rosenthal told the news outlet. Toward the end of the ordeal, both creatures appeared exhausted, but the snake ultimately came out on the winning end. After killing its victim, the snake uncoiled itself and began to devour the crocodile, slowly swallowing it whole, head first. It took the snake 15 minutes to eat its meal, according to callers. Did you ever think that a snake could defeat a crocodile? Do you think this snake just got lucky? Let us know in the comments below, and if you're liking this video, be sure to hit the thumbs up and subscribe buttons if you haven't already. 6. Orca vs. Great White Shark. It's easy to assume that no marine creature, even a killer whale or orca, could defeat the great white shark, which has a reputation for being the ocean's most aggressive apex predator. But as shark content editor Dr. Blake Chapman pointed out in an Australian Geographic article last year, a battle to the death isn't just black and white. For one thing, orcas are much bigger and smarter than great whites, and they've been observed preying on the sharks, according to Science Focus. Several studies also point towards killer whales being the more formidable force. In recent years, researchers monitoring wildlife near California's southeast Farallon Island noticed that when orcas appeared in the region, all 17 of the great white sharks they were tracking fled and stayed away until the following season. There could be several reasons for this, including the possibility that killer whales hunt great whites, or that killer whales outcompete the sharks for food. When 5 dead great white sharks washed ashore in False Bay, South Africa last year, marine experts noticed that they had been sliced open and their livers were missing. Based on teeth marks in the carcasses, the researchers suspected that the sharks had fallen prey to orcas, who appeared to have ripped their victims open in a gory tug-of-war. Great whites lack a swim bladder, and their livers are very buoyant and fatty. For a killer whale, this amounts to a nutritious and delicious meal packed with high-energy lipids. Observations of orcas preying on great white sharks are rare, with the first known recorded instance happening in 1997. There have only been a handful of known occurrences since then, but the evidence is enough to challenge the long-held notion that great whites are a bigger threat to killer whales than the other way around. 5. Jaguar vs. Caiman. During Nat Geo Wild's 8th annual Big Cat Week in 2017, the channel aired harrowing footage of a violent encounter between a jaguar and a caiman in the world's largest tropical wetland. Known as the Pantanal, it spans parts of Brazil, Paraguay, and Bolivia, and it's home to the planet's largest jaguars, according to USA Today. Nat Geo photographer Steve Winter and wildlife filmmaker Bertie Gregory captured the interspecies squabble while following a notorious jaguar who's named Scarface for his array of old battle wounds. The video shows Scarface quickly traveling through water in pursuit of a caiman, his latest target in a series of 14 failed hunts that the pair observed over a nearly week-long period. After being eluded by capybaras and giant river otters, Scarface finally succeeded in securing his next meal when he pounced on the 55-kilo reptile and snatched it up with his powerful jaws. Footage shows the big cat dragging his victim up onto the riverbank and into some bushes to feast. When it comes down to the question of who's more likely to win in a fight between a jaguar and a caiman, Winter implied that it's not exactly surprising that the mammal emerged victorious. The jaguars that live in the Pantanal weigh up to 136 kilos and are among nature's most formidable predators. But Scarface's defeat against the caiman, which is equipped with 74 sharp teeth and a powerful jaw and tail, is nevertheless impressive, especially since an estimated 85% of jaguar hunts in the area are unsuccessful. Number 4. Lion vs. Tiger. It is extremely rare for lions and tigers to cross paths in the wild, but sometimes this happens in captivity and the results can be deadly, as one zoo in Cheonju, South Korea learned in 2008. While trying to catch a chicken that a zookeeper had thrown into his pen, a lion named Chongi fell about 16 feet or 5 meters into a trench that separated his enclosure from zoo visitors. A Siberian tiger named Hobie then jumped into the ditch. She landed poorly and Chongi fatally bit her neck. The two big cats were about equal in length, but the 243-pound lion outweighed Hobie by about 44 pounds, according to the Korea Times. A zookeeper told the news outlet that it was rare for a lion and a tiger to fight, but that Chongi seemed to think that Hobie had invaded his territory. He further explained that the winner in an interspecies squabble like this depends mostly on who gets a head start and acts more aggressively. Another unlikely encounter between a lion and a tiger happened in 2019 in India. Indian Forest Service officer Susanta Nanda captured the scuffle on video, which shows a lion approaching the tiger, biting its neck and swiping its paw at the fellow big cat. The tiger reacted swiftly, striking the lion across its face with its paw. For the lion, that was quite enough to prove that it was fighting a losing battle, and in a display of defeat, it walked away. Nanda told India Today that tigers fight like boxers and that their paws are powerful enough to smash a cow's skull. A lesson that the lion learned the hard way. Number 3. Cougars versus bears. Cougars, also called mountain lions, are one of North America's most feared predators. People are equally scared of bears, to be fair. While both actually have more reasons to fear us than the other way around and typically flee in our presence, things tend to turn out differently when the two species come face to face with each other. Two videos that have circulated online offer a rare first-hand glimpse at these types of encounters. One contains Animal Planet footage showing a young cougar approaching a young, sleeping bear who doesn't seem to want to fight. As the bear backs cautiously away from the aggressor, the cougar advances forward, baring its claws, and attempts to pounce on the bear, who fights back and effectively wards off its attacker. But the cougar lingers nearby for some time before finally leaving the scene and allowing the bear to return to its den. Another video shows a much more violent encounter between an adult cougar and an adult brown bear. With two cubs nearby to protect, it's no wonder the cougar is quick to become aggressive, sinking her fangs into the bear's hide. The bear, who has no cubs, quickly gets the message and retreats from the scene. Number 2. Grizzly bears versus wolves. In 1995, a program was started to reintroduce grey wolves to Yellowstone Natural Park. Doug Smith, the Yellowstone Wolf Project's leader, revealed early last year that the interactions between grey wolves and grizzly bears constituted some of the most fascinating observations he had made since the program began. Grizzly bears are drawn to wolves' dens by the smell of the food that they bring to their young, according to Smith, and while bears are more powerful, wolves are faster and tend to outnumber bears. He likened the encounters to mosquitoes surrounding a larger specimen, stating that if there are enough of them, they'll win. The wolves aren't quick to give up when a bear comes near their den, but the dynamics change when a bear goes near wolf kills. Smith once watched as a bear took control of a dead bull elk that 24 wolves had taken down, helping himself to the meal while the entire pack looked on. Another time, 4 bears took turns feeding on an animal that 10 wolves had just killed. Come on, bears! Rare footage that made the rounds on social media late last year shows a wolf pack surrounding a lone grizzly after it tried to steal a carcass that they had hunted. Interestingly, as Smith pointed out, these encounters are rarely violent, but typically involves the wolves trying to harass a bear into leaving their meal alone. Number 1. Shark versus polar bear. While trying to figure out what was killing large number of harbor seals near the Svalbard archipelago back in 2008, researchers were stunned to find polar bear remains in the stomach of a Greenland shark. The discovery of a young polar bear's jawbone challenged the previously held belief that killer whales are the only real threat to the species. A clash between the deep-dwelling Greenland shark, which can grow to over 6 meters long, and the Arctic's top predator seemed unbelievable to the team. The experts speculated that perhaps polar bears are spending more time in the water due to climate change, which is melting polar ice and shrinking the species' habitat. They also theorized that warming waters are driving the Greenland shark northward. Shark experts were quick to point out the likelihood that the shark just fed on a polar bear carcass, and that even a young polar bear would be a formidable opponent against a Greenland shark. But nobody knows for sure whether the meal was scavenged or hunted by a very, very lucky shark. Thanks for watching. Which one of these animal confrontations surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments below. And if you enjoyed today's video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. See you next time. Bye!